Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another episode, the second ever episode of Scouser Reacts, the show where we talk about football and topics, and it's from a Scouser point of view. Smash a like if you like that concept, very amateur concept, but we got it and it's hopefully going to smash it over time. It will smash it over time, I have no doubt. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Levi Caldwell, who obviously won the England under-21 Euros last night, which was fantastic, and we're also going to touch on that briefly throughout the video, and what that means in terms of him either staying at Chelsea or leaving Chelsea, which is what's been rumoured, and of course involves Liverpool. Furthermore, we have I want to also even talk about Mason Greenwood to Serie A, which is being talked about, and then I even want to talk about Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, because that's been one that's been talked about. Is that the right move for his career? I think it's kind of obvious, but we'll delve all into that and more. Now, I'm wondering where to start. I'm going to briefly touch on Levi Caldwell, and then we'll probably go on to the more controversial topic of Mason Greenwood, and bear in mind, this is a football show, so if you're still wanting the Liverpool content, that'll be out in the Redmond Roundup later, and the stream tonight, if you'd like that. But anyway, Levi Caldwell wins the European Championships. The most telling thing to me was after the game, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but the winger that they signed from PSV, he came over while he was live streaming and said, "We are coming home," or "He will be coming home," or something along those lines. And what it was implying, at least to me, is that he was speaking to Chelsea fans, because why would he be speaking to an England fan base saying "we are coming home"? Maybe he was because of the we're coming home. Maybe I missed something there. But I think it implies two things. I think it implies, one, we're bringing the trophy home. Two, I think it implies that Levi Caldwell is going to stay at Chelsea. It's also confirmed that he's going to be going back to the pre-season tour, or on the pre-season tour that Chelsea have booked out. And I do believe he's going to be a part of Pochettino's plans. Young centre-back, Thiago Silva's not getting any younger. You know, when you consider the fact that they need new reinforcements at the back as well. Badiashile, I think his name is. He's been quite good for them. But you need to get that solidified next guy who's going to be able to step up to the plate. And Levi Caldwell, with Brighton experience and the attributes which he possesses, I really like him as a centre-back. Also, I think he's priced out for any team to want to buy him. Therefore, I think he stays at Chelsea. And also, I think it's the perfect thing. Pochettino is a manager of youth class. It's just one of those things where when you get, think about what he done with Harry Kane. What was Harry Kane before Pochettino? He was a fine striker, and that's all it was. It was fine. He became world class when he got Pochettino. When you think of Dele Alli, he was just some kid at MK Dons, and don't get me wrong, although he had all the ability in the world, it was only under Pochettino we saw the best of Dele Alli. So now I think, how does this translate to players like Conor Gallagher? How does it translate to Levi Caldwell? How does it translate to some of the younger players in this current Chelsea team? And then furthermore, the fantastic academy setup that they've got at the football club. And it's one to talk about, guys, because if Pochettino can get the best out of these young players, who's to say they can't get back into the top five? And then the second they're back in that Champions League format, because it's 5 teams instead of 4 now, who's to say they can't just go and spend a madness again with that Champions League revenue? So I believe this is the perfect appointment and the right project that Chelsea are taking in place. It just depends now, how much control does Pochettino have over his entire squad? Can he use the players that he wants? Can he keep the players that he wants? Because that's an important factor. Anyway, that's the Chelsea situation out the way, and hopefully that clarifies Liverpool are no longer in the race for Levi Caldwell, and never was, by the way. But anyway, let's touch on Mason Greenwood. I went into depth on this on a stream last night, so I don't want to go too much, and I completely get that it's a sensitive topic. So first and foremost, I want to just say, I really do pray, whoever the victim in the situation is, whether it's the girl lied or Mason Greenwood's got away with murder, regardless, I just hope that the victim in this situation's okay. Now, the reason why it's tough to identify a victim is because whoever's advising the girl if Greenwood's wrong, or whoever's advising Greenwood if the girl's wrong, they've resulted in staying together. They were speaking throughout the whole process, and more so than just the words of someone who's over 18, and therefore we've got to take that as bond. The fat fucking belly of 9 months pregnant also suggests that maybe either the situation weren't as bad as we thought it was, or something has happened where the girl's being given bad advice, and either way, that's not great. But then you can't dispute 100%. If you can 100% say that the voice note is what it says it was, and you can 100% guarantee that those bruises weren't self-caused or whatever, because I'm not implying that they was. I'm just saying you can't 100% say that they're not the case. And if you can't 100% prove that Greenwood caused these images and that voice note was what it sounds like, and it sounds like it, But then if it's a 10% chance of it being role play, for instance, then you've also got to take that for what it is. And I'm someone who's innocent until proven guilty. And although it doesn't look good, and yes, he sounds very entitled, I still also believe that, he hasn't been caught. Therefore, what are we not allowing him to play football for? But then that's up to the clubs to say, listen, do we want this player? Do we want to play him or not? Because he still caused a lot of controversy, and the voice note still isn't good regardless whether you want to say yes or no. But just on a legal matter, it's tough to just terminate contracts and whatever have you. But anyway, he was linked with Atalanta. I believe Serie A just did not want any fucking part of that, and I think that's a smart decision. I think it's also good for Greenwood. I don't see how it benefits him going and playing football anytime soon, until maybe he's a bit more, or there's a bit more out on the case. If the case is even still ongoing, because I don't know if it is, and if it is, then we need to find out more information, and if he's caught guilty, then hopefully he'll get the punishment in which he deserves. If not, then, it's a shame that someone's been labelled for something that they haven't, even though the voice notes still weren't good, no matter however way you paint it out. So I think it's smart from Serie A not to bring him in. I don't think they have to. Nor do I think Manchester United are entitled to have to play him. I just don't think that's the case. Because you could just sit there and say, well, we think he plays shit. You know what I mean? He's been gone for 2 years. Why are we going to put him back into the team? But I do believe there's an underlying want for somewhere in the Manchester United Football Club to want to keep playing him and try and get him back into the team. And then if that's the case, how well does he do? But I understand it's uncomfortable conversations right now with Greenwood. But I also think it's wrong to completely ignore and neglect these conversations just because you deem them controversial. I'm just some random kid on YouTube talking about these topics, and I believe that if you look at the situation, he's still technically allowed to play, but do the clubs have to play him? I don't think so. And again, I think it's a smart move for him and for the league in Italy to make sure that they don't get him. But anyway, let's talk about Harry Kane, because he's actually someone who is established. He is right here, right now. He causes less controversy and all this stuff. Bayern Munich want Harry Kane. Now, we know that for a couple of years now, Harry Kane has implied, the want of an exit at Tottenham Hotspur. The one thing I admire about Harry Kane is that he stayed there the whole time and just shown 100% faith and commitment to the club. He's always just been that man who'll just run into the ground for the team. He's so clinical. He's creating for teammates who aren't really that good. I think Richarlison last season, huge disappointment. Human Son, huge disappointment, probably on his way out as well. You've got to start looking at these things, and Kane still went ahead and got second top goal scorer in the Premier League. Also, he still got assists. Also, he only got better, and he does seem to just be one of those strikers who, up until he's about 34, 35, just will probably be really, really class. And for that reason, I think Bayern Munich would make all the sense in the world. It gets Tottenham a fee for Harry Kane, which they need, because I think it's a bigger shame if you lose Harry Kane on a free than if you sold him for 70 or 80 million. Plus, he'd be going to Bayern Munich. The project hasn't worked with Harry Kane. You had the Pochettino, you had the dream team. Harry Kane was there. He's stayed since Pochettino left. No trophies have still yet to be won. Therefore, I don't think it hurts to start a new project. Tottenham fans just want a trophy. Harry Kane hasn't won them a trophy. Doesn't look like he will in future. And what does need to happen is a rebuild of the squad. And if a rebuild of the squad is required, then you need to get the funds required to rebuild said squad. That's why Harry Kane to Bayern Munich made sense, not only for Spurs financially, but also for Harry Kane, because let's just talk about the fact he's one of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time, who has got a grand total of 0 trophies. It's a big, big shame, If you want to be shameless, you can sit there and say Divock Origi and Ryan Brewster have got more trophies than friggin' Harry Kane, but then you've got to sit there and analyse the situation. And if he goes to Bayern Munich, I don't care if it's the Bundesliga, I don't care if it's one that doesn't matter. It increases the chances of cups, of leagues, and also of continental success when it comes to the Champions League. Because if Harry Kane goes there, he's that Robert Lewandowski replacement that they were hoping for when they got Mane. I love Mane, but he's massively underachieved at Bayern Munich. I think he's probably going to end up going Saudi or something. And Harry Kane will go there and be the new number 9. So I think depending on the Mane situation, whether he goes or stays and how much they get, I think Harry Kane could possibly go to Bayern Munich, as they will probably feel more inclined to increase that bid and see how that goes. But anyway, guys, the last thing I want to talk about, it's again in relation to the England's under-21s. And if you enjoyed this video, smash a like. If you disagreed with anything, let me know why in the comments down below. But James Trafford the Manchester City goalkeeper who just joined Burnley for, I think, 19 million, which, based on the fact he was a Bolton goalkeeper last season, you're thinking, why are they paying 20 million for a player from Football League One? But then you see his balls throughout this European Championships tournament. You see how good he actually is attributes-wise as a goalkeeper. And I understand every single piece of part of why Vincent Kompany has decided to put so much of that budget that they got from the Premier League into this goalkeeper. No goals conceded throughout the entire tournament, and then saves a last-minute penalty. Like, absolute balls of steel type stuff. And it was fantastic to see. The England squad was great. And do you know what's interesting now? In fact, no, I'll save that topic for the Redmond Roundup, because it's related to Kefren Turam and Curtis Jones, but we'll save it for later. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, and only if you enjoyed, smash a like, and let me know why in the comments down below you enjoyed, and if you didn't, then also let me know. But I love every single one of you, and it'd be good to get your thoughts on all the stuff I've talked about. So until then, I will see you all in a bizzle. Peace.